the purpose of today's journal is why we deceive, and I made some entries within my deception journal, so I'm going to be talking about them. The first was um my reason for going home. I was deceitful in telling my friends my reasons for going home. I don't think that I was actually falsifying the information. I think that what I was actually doing was omitting certain details um, to kind of benefit the persons who I was speaking to. Actually, I was going home for a memorial. My grandmother had died 10 years ago, and the family was coming together to have a memorial for her. So, even though the family was coming together, the actual reason for my trip going back home was for a memorial. So, I think that I did deceive my friends right there in omitting certain details from that conversation with them. And the reason was to protect the hero, to protect my friends from having to hear a sad story about my grandmother dying, you know. So that was the purpose. Another entry that I have was when I was at home, I was asked about my boyfriend. Um, you know, from my family members, they wanted to know if I was dating and who I was dating and how did I like it. But I gave them less than what they expected. Because I wasn't really ready to talk about that as yet. It was not something that I was really ready to share with them. You know, I'm that type of a person. I'm very not secretive, but I like to keep certain things to myself. And I think my reason for omitting certain things and make I made a lot of general statements as well, where they could assume whatever they wanted to assume, just general statements where they could just you know pull any idea from the statements that I made. I wasn't giving them too much specific and explicit details about my relationship or about who I was dating. So right there, I think I equivocated and I did some omission as well. And my reason for doing that was obviously to protect my privacy and to protect myself from distress because I didn't want to have to be talking about it too much and giving them too much details only for it to not work out or for it to backfire on me. So yes, I was deceitful in that situation to protect my privacy and to protect myself from distress. Another situation was when I was at home yet again, and my cousin was engaging me in a conversation about the things that I was doing or the behaviors that I was displaying that um, were not too acceptable, or things that I were doing that maybe offended other family members or said that offended other family members unintentionally, of course. And I had a lot of things that I could add it to the conversation about why I may have or might have done those things, um, not purposefully, but I kept those reasons to myself. I kept a lot of things to myself during the discussion for the reason that I didn't want to I didn't want to I didn't want to cause any conflict. I wanted to avoid conflict. I wanted to protect my privacy. I wanted to benefit her. I didn't want to say anything that may have offended her or may not have been pleasing to her ears. So I omitted a lot of details and I equivocated yet again. And yes, and the trend that I realized during my deception journal on all these different situations and circumstances was that most of the times that I lied to protect myself. I lied to protect my privacy because that is something that is very important to me. So I lied to protect my privacy. I lied to make the hearer feel a bit more comfortable in the situation. I like to benefit the hearer basically, and I didn't want to avoid conflict. Avoid. I didn't want to cause conflict. But the most dominant reason for me lying was basically to protect my privacy or to protect myself. So I don't know. I guess I'm selfish. I don't know. But I think that's one of the main reasons why people lie, to protect themselves, protect their image, and to avoid uncomfortable situations. Um, can you trust this confessional? Yes and no. Yes, because I am being as truthful as I can in this situation, in this circumstance. However, I am keeping a lot of specific details from during this video. I'm keeping back a lot of specific details. I'm trying not to give too much, so I am omitting certain things. So ultimately, no, you cannot trust this confessional.